Wonderful people, this is truly one of the most important times on the earth to address ourselves, willing to be changing the self from the inside out. And so today I will upgrade all the knowledge that is needed to open up into the eye of the divine, as many around the globe are willing to see the other worlds, to see other things than what is just in front of us, while what is just in front of us actually opens that. So, you know, it's a bit contradictory. So in my former videos, I explained a lot like what is needed to work at least with a light body, because how can you open up light and see all the light realms, which is the origin of creation, into the beyond? So a little bit of work is needed, but also individual guidance, redirections, and I would say to go all the way in where you become a willing participant in creation with the divine, with all the living light forces, sources, masters, angelic kingdoms, living light species, ready to connect with you, if you are willing to go all the way, because that is actually needed. Because from the moment on, we set up the new light body, the new light tree, the new light earth meridians, and all technology that doesn't work anymore, when we've come to a point to truly delete that falseness or that serpent moving all the way up, which is in the first place the chakra system, which is the entire Kundalini system, which is, you know, everything everybody had such a high level belief in, and especially the soul syndrome, because, you know, whatever you click on Google, it's uplifting the soul. There's nothing to uplift. It's about eliminating soul, chakra, Kundalini, and moving in the present day tree of light that opens up one eye upon the next eye until you can see 360 degrees in circumference. And at that point, you can actually imagine that your physical biology need to have or has been through a process of crystallization, somehow moving from the old cells that were born in the matrix to move them in the crystalline grid, squeezing the matrix, and thus transporting, transforming, transcending cells into living light particles. Everything that lives and breathes in the matrix, in soul consciousness, is a death penalty. It's decay. We see that all over the planet. You know, people wouldn't die if they had living light consciousness and being or enabling self, at least to heal anything that pops up in your internal world. So breathing from the inside out, from your direct connect to your source, and inviting the technology you need at a certain time and point in time, and that you know, that it would be deleted in just, you know, a short amount of time. Yet people are winding circles and circles and circles, like healing out the same old stuff for 20 years. There is no need for that. I mean, nobody needs to lay down in order to get healed. We heal from heart to heart right now. I can open up the circulation, talk here, invite the elements, send that through, give it to a particular person. And then that is how in the future group healing will be done quite quickly. So no more the long drawn healings, no more the long drawn, you know, education into light body, into actually your authentic selves. And so there's people who are willing to accept it, and there's people, you know, like willing to just stream on through the old soul and recycle the old stuff for many more years. And that is actually a choice, because we cannot ever, and that is very important what I'm saying here, is have an opinion or a judgment about anybody else and not about the outer world, because one single opinion drops your vibration immediately. You cannot possibly imagine any high deity or a master or angelite having one opinion, right? And so people also have that question, so why? I mean, I do so many prayers, I ask for this, I ask for that. I mean, do you match their vibration? They don't come in the dance world, they're there to assist you, to upgrade, guide you, but you need to be willing to do that work. And so people are still expecting that some other source, force, deity is going to do the work for them. That has never been so and will never be so. And also, so willing to open up in a light body, that is the present day Merkiva, opening that up into the eye of the divine, the all-seeing eye, the omnipresent eye, the tiger's eye, the fourth eye, the fifth eye. And above that, I don't think you would be here and you would already see inside out. So I've been going through that, you know, moving many people in that light body, that foundation that opens up the capstone of creation, because you need to enable your pituitary, your pineal, your amygdala region, especially to open up into the eternal all-seeing eye, as we are eternal beings. So it needs to match. And thus, going through that, the opening that was given by the divine is right here on the planet. And so I've been going through massive changes myself, not allowing any dense energies. And I've been cutting out so many people once again, because it was like people that, you know, still demand, do you agree upon, do you not agree? That is exhausting for the body. That's not a stage we communicate anymore. That is, you know, when you're not in 100% balance and harmony and excitement about conversations, when they are not filling your vibration up, then it's something you need to cut out, because it will lower you at all times, and thus you need to double up your work. You know, I wouldn't choose that way, as anything in the outside world always lowers. So soul, chakra, kundalini, the old living light tree light body, breathes from the outside in and gets the density, the diseases in, all the trash, and leaves the trash there. And then they wonder where they get these diseases from. So I'm not wondering anymore, because going into the origin is moving up into the celestial and universal embodiments, where everything changes instantly, 360 degrees. It just takes a little bit of training, which each way of creations, and I mean, at least it first 12 celestial universal embodiments, moving up into, you know, the higher level omni beyond bodies that will come out definitely as we stream into 2024. So it's very important here, when you're willing to start crystallizing, when you really want to start seeing, to open up. The crystallization or crystal kingdom is truly opening up many more technologies on the earth. We do know computers, iPhones, everything is made out of crystals. But oftentimes people just forget that our own body is a crystalline kingdom. And thus we need to go from the carbon back into the crystallization process. Not this way, but this way. And thus with each layer, like opening one crystal for the physical eyes, a second crystal, I mean, that goes from the Madagascar to the Arkansas, that goes to the Peruvian amethyst, all the way in to especially the smoky quartz crystals, and it depends on where you're at. What is the energies you were born with? Are you earth, water, you know, whatever sign you are, and combine that with it. And there, you know, that's truly the level where it gets interesting. When you've done that work, then you open the eternal gate, you polish that gate with 7, 8, 9, 10 crystals, and you open up the pineal. The pineal gland needs the inversion from the closed door into open doors. Then you eliminate everything that crashed the brain when birthing in the debris of the dark ages. Everybody at this point birthed into it. And thus, we need to do that work until you feel your brain, you know, getting extensions and extensions and lifting and lifting. And that is the point where the signs come true. Too many people keep on repeating the same old stuff and never upgrading. So the upgrades are available, at least I offer them, but they are also available through the self, through you. Your direct connect to your source, your spark, which is your higher self. When you have opened that through the pillars of light, replacing the chakra system, you can ask for guidance and stick to it. Stick to the guidance, ask from, you know, which color code they come from. Then you could combine that. For example, if you get pink, you do know it's part of Andromeda, it's part of Venus, it's part of the universal pink dragon that are lifted with the higher senses. So all these educations are so massively interesting, and then you can open up that design. Another thing is music is massively important. When, you know, you have installed your light body in a crystalline grid and you open up massive subgrids and subgrids and subgrids and universal, omniversal grids, because we are moving into the omni origin of the earth, and the earth already has changed its axis position to the entire galaxies. So the resurrection of the earth and your own resurrection is as important to any other galaxy, planet, universe as it is for us, as it is for the animals, as it is to anything else. And that is moving into the unified fields, and where you find directions, inspirations, where you have your answers, your questions answers instantly. When you don't have that level, you upgrade, you take up another crystal, another crystal, another crystal. There's one thing that is very important: when you don't upgrade your body in alignment with the divine, so going from a foundation into the universal bodies, into the celestial, in the Shambhala, into, you know, even if you don't know them, ask for it, and ask for the next crystal to crystallize into the body. There's a crystal for the skin, for the light biology to change over, but you can imagine at this time that you do need, if you want that, you do need your light body grounded and working with the same light body that it has been offered with the universe. That is a new tree of life that is termed the Makiva. The Merkaba is old stuff, doesn't work anymore, because you keep on winding old circles in the old soul syndrome, making people sicker and sicker by the day. We've seen that for more than 20 years. So why would you go in there? Here, the most beautiful thing with opening up the next layer in the eyes, if you've been listening to the other videos, then you do know it opens up only within the celestial embodiment, opening that up, learning the technology and the healing within, you know, the white, blue, yellow, purple, whatever, all the 12 celestial bodies. And then you get into higher contact, communication with the elements. And so it's also, you know, very important to listen to music that you're very in tune with. I remember at some point, but you know, I didn't really stood still and investigate myself at that time a few years ago. I was always listening to that particular song, The Call of the Mountains. Yeah, I love mountains. Yeah, you know, that was it. But that's not, I mean, that is when spirit is directing you. And so, you know, right now, the past 2 years, is spirit is directing me, have been directing me, as I mentioned in the former video, to the Black Mountains in Bhutan, and how I open up a next layer in my eye over there to a next original eye of the divine mountain that exists. And it's the origin of the eye of the divine that opens up in the Omni eye and the tiger's eye. So these are 3 mountains, and mountains carry massive minerals, crystals, information, data. It's like they carry, they have scripts of information, such as the emerald tablets, actually. And that is the bridge of light we are moving into. So the next video, I will explain the bridge of light that we are making. So the old Ark of the Covenant has been broken, and the building and the replacement of that Ark, as we see the flower of life, is plentiful of arcs of consciousness that contain loads and loads and loads of information. Just one arc, working with one arc. And as I am or did become a digital designer, through the designs I get into my meditation and following that up, then it's massive what you could do. So here it depends on where you are at. Like, I'm an earth sign, all right? So of course I'm very, very grounded and to the point all of the time. And I may need a little bit more liquid flow, like a water sign, but you know, merging all the elements is important. So I do know you all have, let me know in the comments, what is your highest level connectivity to what element triggers you the most, and that is where you go into for the eye of the divine, as everything is moving into triangular equations, out of 1, 2 into 1, 2, 3, or a triangle. If we look at planet Earth, you look it up at Google, you see triangles. That's the origin. So no more straight line. That is over and done with. So that one triangle combining pineal, pituitary, amygdala, and doing the healing work there with 5 or 7 crystals that, you know, uplift and uplift and uplift. You cannot just, you know, start working with one crystal that, when you haven't elevated your body to the frequency of that crystal, and therefore the celestial universal bodies are massively important, because it moves back into the origin, or your nucleic seed in the great central sun, that is Shambhala. And people are trying to do that and buying so many crystals, and they just cannot talk or perform their job, just because the house, the home, and your crystalline embodiment, that is your light body, has not been upgraded there. So what's the use of having these crystals, of buying them, when they cannot perform their task? It's up to us to take that particular responsibility and act like a responsible master. And that is when the magic happened. So here what I was willing to say, so I connected to the eye of the divine grid, and there's just so many technologies opening up there. And thus, for the first time, when combining my water flow, water energies, with the origin of the seed in a particular ocean on the planet, with the origin of the high altitude divine breathing system, so that's air, water, and earth with that mountain, then I was able to start seeing crystalline grids in animals, and into the eye of the divine for the first time. I was seeing a unicorn in a gridded embodiment, which was massively beautiful. And then, as I've been working with one partner in the oceans, which is my pink dolphin friend, whatever, I ask so many questions there and I get the answers immediately. So for the first time, I was seeing that dolphin with pure diamonds in the body, and I saw the grids in that little body, and he was laughing it out like, I mean, for 20 years you didn't see him. So, you know, even though that lasted this time for 10 minutes, in the beginning time you get flickers, you know, flickers, and that might flicker up in the physical eye, and that's very, very pleasant actually. But it's here, you know, what you can do if you want to open up the eye of the divine is continuously refine your food, continuously refine your fitness, your exercises, continuously refine your mentality, eliminate the dead zones in the body that is attached to the matrix, and then level up and never ever give your attention to the outer world. So breathing in from the inside out, making sure the entire spinal column is opened up with the pillars of light, so there's no stuck item. If I breathe in and I want to send it right away to my knee, I need to feel the circulation immediately in my knee with, for example, turquoise, amber, and the white way. I'm just saying, you know, you need to know every consciousness in every way, because that is how creation works with the crystallization process. And thus all these things work in a unified form actually. And then you open up the next layer. So if you're interested in that, just subscribe to my newsletter. You get a lot of upgrades in there, and there's of course the training there as well if you want to move all the way into light body and these bodies I've been talking about. Then you will see life becomes very interesting, because you won't be able anymore to even have nonsensical talks anymore, because if it doesn't match you anymore, then you lifted your vibration, and you will feel that a lot. And then your life becomes, you know, like introspective, connecting with massive communication systems, opening up everything in the telepathic waves, because telepathic waves are important to move in the telepathy of the eye as well, moving with the telepathy in the ears, and thus expanding the microphones, expanding your channel, expanding your eyes. So I hope this video helps you. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I'll be back next week. Thank you also for your comments. I love people who dare commenting and leaving me something I could think about, or if you just want to leave something of yourself, that'd be lovely as well. I'm SharlotChi. Thank you so much.